This is Radio TakeOver, Brevard's hit talk radio program with Karen Wooden and Chuck Fresh. Wednesdays at 1, live on 1510 WMEL, 94.7 FM Cocoa, 99.9 FM Cocoa, 100.7 in Melbourne. Streaming online on SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Now, hold on to your seats. It's time for this week's edition of Radio TakeOver.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are y'all out there in Radio Land?
They should all be happy halfway through the work week.
Yeah, I'm still depressed.
Why are you depressed, Chuck?
Well, first of all, this is Radio TakeOver, which is exciting and something to be very happy about.
Yes.
We're right here broadcasting worldwide every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. live, and then available afterwards on SoundCloud. And, oh, hang on, stand by. Something's happening in the studio.
Hey.
No, quite.
Hey.
No, what's
Somebody,
going on?
because
Here?
it's so close to Valentine's Day, somebody
This is a little
What is
strange.
this?
decided that they would like to give you a Valentine.
Oh my
A
God.
singing Valentine.
A singing
A
Valentine?
singing Valentine for
Okay,
Karen?
And of course you
Did
got.
you do that? Who
You
did?
better touch me.
Well, this is interesting.
I'll give you-
So
Later.
Karen right now is
Later.
being embraced by 4 good-looking gentlemen.
Is that real?
Yes.
Maybe we'll have to try that.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but
What's
looks like Karen is about to have a singing Valentine.
And turning bright red.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep the love light glowing in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with heart of my heart, I love you.
Wow.
Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I need you. I can forget you never. From you I ne'er can sever. Say you'll be mine forever. I love you. Only you.
Wow. Wow.
That's your happiest Valentine to you.
Absolutely wonderful. You guys have amazing voices. Wow.
Well, I thought that maybe you'd want to also know that we do this and have been doing this probably.
Wait a minute, sir. Sir, come on the microphone here. Have a seat for a second.
Right
You
up
got-
here.
Okay.
First of all, I don't know who you guys are, so
Yes,
tell me
tell us about
why
it.
you broke into our studio.
Well, we are members of the Harbor City Harmonizers, a barbershop quartet in Melbourne.
There's still barbershop quartets available in the world.
Let me tell you, we are growing. We are becoming more and more modern. You can't think of us as being our own old straw hats sitting on a corner singing. We don't do that anymore.
You
we
look
sing
very modern.
We are. We are
You do
very
any
modern.
hip hop? Any
Don't.
Lady Gaga?
We don't do it. We do everything except rap.
Ah, gotcha.
Well,
that's
we
okay.
also do rap.
You probably do rap too.
Yeah, somebody
So
is.
who are you? What's your name, sir?
My name is Dan Brinkman.
Are you the king of this organization?
No, no, we are all members. We're all equal.
Very, very nice.
And who do you have with you?
Who do I have with me? Over there is Ed,
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
and that is Dave. We
Dave.
call him Big Dave.
Big Dave.
Who's got the low voice?
This one over here, Matt.
I'm Matt.
Matt, let's hear something really, really
It's
low.
all about the bases.
Oh, yeah, that's good. And you're Mr. Brinkman. What do you do?
I'm retired. What do you mean, what do I do?
So what part do you play in the barbershop? I know nothing about that.
I sing tenor, which is a high part, and Ed sings the lead, which is
normally melody.
Yep. Well, and then you already know that Matt sings.
Bass.
I'm the bass.
And then Davey sings whatever's left over.
Whatever's left over.
It's all about that bass.
It's all about the
It's
bass.
all about the bases.
That's not true.
That was really amazing, guys.
So you guys do this professionally? People can hire you to go out and do this?
Yes, they can hire us, but we are all amateur singers.
Okay.
You don't sound amateur.
Yeah, that sounds
Well,
pretty
thank
darn
you.
real.
That
Thank you.
sounded awesome.
But if they would like to have a singing Valentine for their very special person, you can call one of these two numbers, 321-727-3338, 321-259-7953. Those are the two numbers that they can call and get a Valentine. It's very cheap. We give them two songs. Those two songs that, you know, there's something going around, and I've caught it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at any rate,
Sorry.
we give the two songs, a rose, a box of candy, and a card.
Wow.
All that for $45.
Very cool.
That's quite a package for
Very
$45. Some
Yeah.
people spend that on candy itself
I think so. And then we're doing that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday this week
for Valentine's Day.
for Valentine's
So you'll
Day.
go anywhere to like a workplace? Or?
Anywhere in the county.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
we'll
What's the name of the organization again?
Well,
Harbor City Harmonizer.
Harbor City Harmonizers. But
Give-
this particular quartet is really just made up of members of that.
Strikingly good-looking guys. Give me those phone numbers one more time.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
going to send a couple people these things for $45. You can't beat
I
that.
know. That's
321-727-3338,
All right, give me the other one just in case.
321-259-7953.
Got it. And we'll post that on our
Yeah, we'll put
Facebook
that up on
pages
our
and our
Facebook.
websites
Okay,
too.
great. Appreciate it.
Well,
Before you go, you gotta
thanks for
take-
coming in. That was
Okay.
neat. Never
Great.
seen anything
Really
like that
appreciate
before. I'm
it.
amazed
Yeah,
it still exists.
Okay.
Are you guys barbers too? So I need a haircut. You bring scissors?
You haven't done that one before, right?
all right.
Fingernail clippers.
Well,
Take a-
thanks for stopping in. That was
Okay.
neat.
Picture. You want to take a quick picture?
Sure.
Yeah, we got a picture of you with us.
All right, I'm going to take a picture. We're live on the air. We
Live
do
on
have a
the air.
guest coming up in a couple of minutes. Miso N Gray is with us today, so stick around for that. You won't want to miss this interview.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, this is all a cappella without instruments.
That's
Yeah.
right. There are no instruments here. Very, very cool. And I'm going to fire a couple off.
Wait a minute.
Squeeze in there. Squeeze in there. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, I got 1,000,000. I think we look good. Nice work, guys. Well, thanks for coming out. That was beautiful.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. Appreciate
Harbor
it.
City Harmonizers, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Those numbers again,
Thank
321-727-3338 or 321-259-7953, where you can email, I see on your flyer here, sv@hcharmonizers.org.
It was a good one.
Awesome. Beautiful. Harbor City Harmonizers,
Thank you,
ladies and
guys.
gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I
Wow.
don't know if that's ever happened on a live radio program before, Karen.
I don't know. Am I as red as the card and the flowers?
You are
the
quite
rose?
pink right now.
I'm
Yeah,
quite
you are.
pink.
That's interesting. You match the wine. That's nice.
Awesome.
Hey, what is today's wine, Karen?
Okay, today this wine is from my special reserve, and it
Do
is.
you have a wine cellar?
I don't.
We'll just pretend.
It's a standard closet, but you
Okay,
know.
it's a cellar.
Let me get my glasses on here so I can read it. This wine, you can only get it at Fresh Market, and it's Duchess Leah. It comes from Piedmont, Italy, and it's Gala Rosa. And it's the red rose version of very popular Duchess Leah Moscato. And this is an aromatic sweet red made from, I have a hard time. This is
go
why
ahead,
we need
just
our
wing
wine
it.
guy with
Yeah,
this.
yeah, nail it.
Braccetto grapes.
That works.
Flavors of strawberry, cranberry, and a little peach in the finish.
Well, I can taste the peach in this, actually. It's very good. It's a little bit of bubbly. Is that the Moscato? The Moscato
Yes.
kind of a bubbly?
I think so. Today it is.
And it's served cold.
Serve it cold. You can put some ice in it. You can put some Sprite in it too. So
What?
it's a real light.
Why doesn't Kevin Kearns have his hands on this?
You know,
You need to work that girl.
I know. But it's a really good one. So it's something light and fresh, and be great for Valentine's. Or a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, that and a singing Valentine.
And a singing Valentine, box of chocolate and a rose. What more could a girl want?
I had no idea that people
Did
still
you have
did
no
that.
idea?
No idea that there were still singing quartets.
Oh, okay. I thought you.
I had no idea.
No.
I thought that had gone away 30 years
Long
ago.
time ago. They were wonderful.
That was so cool. They sounded great, too, didn't
Really
they?
good.
Well, it sounded really good in the studio, too.
Sounded
This is
excellent.
the optimal. Wait, we'll put the video on our Facebook page, too. You have to see this to believe it.
Yes, and I'm bright red in it.
It shows.
It does it. Thank you.
So what'd you think about the Super Bowl?
Well, it was, neither were my teams. I'll have to say that. My team is the Bears, and they never make it to the Super Bowl.
Wait, you're from Denver. You should be a...
No, I'm originally from Chicago.
Oh, you're
Chicago.
a Bears person. Gotcha.
But yeah, Broncos, they're an awesome team. But I was rooting for the Falcons because I'm kind of tired of seeing the Patriots win.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little over the whole Tom Brady thing.
Are you?
It's driving me a little nuts. So yeah, it was kind of disheartening. I was watching the whole thing. I was like, yeah, the whole first half was all Atlanta. I'm like, wow, they can actually pull this off. And I was as shocked as anyone else. But
Do you think that was set up?
I don't know. I wonder that too.
I mean, I've got to give him a lot of credit for pulling that off. And
I don't know. It
the
just
last
seems like they're like, all right, Falcons, we'll give you the first half, and then we just want you to coast the second
Yeah.
half. Just let Tom Brady do his thing. Just, it almost seemed a little too easy in that second
did.
half, didn't it?
Do you think they checked his balls?
Yeah, I don't know. I hope so. I hope so.
Hey, what do you think about Lady Gaga?
She was perfect. She could
was.
not have done a better job. She kept the politics out of the way. She was completely
Absolutely.
professional. She said hi to mom and dad, which I thought was really
cool.
That is really. She's 30 years old. She's not too old. And,
No, and you know what? There's been some body shaming going on with her.
oh, please.
And I thought, you know what? I would love to have her shape.
Me
any day.
too.
I'm working. I don't know
yeah,
about
man.
that,
Ooh,
Chuck.
I'd be rich.
But yeah,
I thought she looked fantastic.
She looked great.
And it
You
took
know?
some guts to wear what she did, knowing how that would come across. So I got to give her props for that.
I do too. So Lady Gaga, not that you're listening to us, but hey, we think you rock. Absolutely.
We're going to tag her. She'll listen to this. Yeah, I'm a big fan now. I wasn't real crazy about her. I didn't realize how big of a star she was, and now
she's
I see
huge.
why. Yeah,
She's
she's
huge.
big time.
Yeah.
Legendary.
So we have a guest today.
We do. He's sitting over here very quietly. He can't understand what's just happening here, and neither do we. We didn't actually set that up. I'm not sure
I
what happened.
know. Should open the card and find out.
So his name is Miso N. Gray. Wait a minute. I think I get it. Miso Angry?
Me so angry.
I get it now. He's the author of Diary of an Angry Father, and also a book called Beyond Words, Affirmations for a Happier Life. It's kind of strange, like a polar opposite.
Yeah.
Like angry and then affirmations for happiness. Affirmations for happiness.
Yeah.
And he also wrote a book called Fun with Dick, Everything You've Always Wanted to Know About Men. Kind of a play on the Fun with Dick and Jane, I guess.
I like that.
I'm a little slow today. He grew up in Kensington. No, not the nice area
London?
outside of London, England. It's the poor area in North Philadelphia. If you know anything about Philadelphia, you know about Kensington. Miso was the son of Latvian immigrants, and he's a first-generation American. He's an immigrant.
Wow, he's an immigrant.
Yeah, you might have to put him on the boat. His studies at lackluster...
That's bad.
I'm just kidding. His studies... No, you can stay.
Yeah, he's going to walk out of here.
Hey, come on. So his studies at lackluster public schools in Philadelphia and at Temple University left him longing for knowledge, he says, so he became an avid researcher. After suffering through 3 failed marriages, none of which were his fault, ostensibly. Dig into that a little bit. He decided to Oh, that's off the table again. He decided to specialize in relationships. Miso now lives and writes in Melbourne, Florida, right here. He's a hometown guy and happily married to his 4th wife since 2009. Well, welcome, Miso.
Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. It's good to be here.
You mentioned that Miso N. Gray is a pseudonym. So why a fake name? Why not use your real name?
I wanted to be honest. I mean, brutally honest. When I wrote Diary of an Angry Father, I knew I'd have to dig into my own past and mention personal situations. And I didn't really want to throw anybody under the bus or use anybody's real name. And my kids, extended family, co-workers, and community might be a little upset if they knew who I really was and what I was talking about here. I didn't want anybody else to take the hit for the important lessons I'm trying to share. You know what I mean? I'm already as wanted as Salman Rushdie. Could you imagine if people knew who I really was?
You know, I read the book, Miso, and I liked the book. No, I could very well see it, well, as we talk more about it, I could very well see it written as a movie, or written into a movie.
Ah, well.
Kind of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, where you showing the story, but you have someone narrating it.
Yeah, they'd have to really kind of tear it apart and make it a little different than what it is.
Right.
So, but yeah, that could probably happen. I'm open to all offers. Give me a call.
There you go.
MisoNGray.com.
One of the points that you talk about is not being your child's best friend. And I 100% am on board with that. I've been criticized for my parenting skills, not being the child's best friend and so forth. And the person that said that to me, they said, well, I like to be the cool parent, because if I'm the cool parent, my kids will talk to me.
That's a big mistake, Karen. You know why? They want somebody to tell them what's right and what's wrong. They want to understand that somebody's looking out for them. They want to feel safe. If you're just their buddy, their friend, they're not going to feel safe. You're not going to be able to give them lessons. You're not going to be able to impart important information and life lessons to them if you're just hanging around. But they view you as a peer. You need to be like a boss. You need to be an authority figure. You need to be somebody they need to be a little scared of. And I know we're not allowed to say that anymore, because I don't know what's happened to parenting in the last 30 years. But me as a kid, I was scared to death. My dad would whoop me with a belt, with the belt buckle sometimes if I was really bad. And it scared my teachers, too. They'd whip my hand with a ruler in school. Do you remember things like that?
That was Catholic school.
This was public school.
Public school, too.
Back in the day. But I'll tell you what, it put the fear into me. And it got me scared to do things that I shouldn't do.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Because kids that aren't scared, they have no fear. They're going to do whatever they want. No retribution whatsoever.
Well, and sometimes, too, in that particular situation, we knew some things that the kids were doing that mom didn't know. So, it's kind of a catch-22. She thought that she was doing right and being the cool one, but... Yeah.
It's definitely not a good idea.
Everything.
So if you're doing that, I know it's going to be hard to transition. Everybody wants to be liked by their kids, but it's a really bad idea for so many reasons.
So, Miso, your first book, Diary of an Angry Father, let's talk about that for a second, where we're talking about parenting. It dissects your experience as a two-time father, detailing with all the mistakes you've made and seen others make. So tell us about that book.
Can I say this on the radio? All right, I'm going to say it anyway. When this tiny little human flew out of his mother's hugely dilated opening... Sorry, I just puked a little bit. Just had a mental picture. Trust me, once you see that, you never look at it the same again, fellas. The kid was screaming bloody murder, but no matter how hard I looked, there was no book, no manual, no DVD, or not even a business card with a web address inside that nasty pouch called the afterbirth. Apparently, God, in his infinite wisdom, forgot to leave a manual. Unfortunately for you and your children, Diary of an Angry Father may be as close as you're going to get to a parenting manual. It covers the pregnancy, why you shouldn't name your kids stupid names, infant safety, molding toddlers into good people, how and why do you need to succeed in school and why that's so important. What else? How to handle bullying, chores, dating, prom, driving, college, careers, and just about anything else you'll encounter as a real-world parent. It covers it all. So I felt that was needed in society because nobody else was doing it right.
It's quite a manual. I'm looking at it here. I have a copy of it here. We do have 3 copies right here at WMEL that we're going to give away. You don't have to call in. Just be one of the first 3 people to show up here at the radio station and pick one up.
Get in your car right now.
Karen, what's the number here? I have no idea. I should know this by now.
You should know this. Okay, so it's the street address is 2355 Lucky Bomb Road, Cocoa, Florida, 32926. And the station number is 321-241-1060.
Sweet. Just give the station a buzz, find out when somebody's going to be here, pick up your copy of Diary of an Angry Father. It's autographed.
It is.
This one says, "You got this, Miso." That's inspirational for an angry guy.
It is.
Yeah, I'm not as angry as I am. So, I'm looking at your qualifications, and I don't see therapist or psychologist in your resume anywhere. So, what qualifies you to write a book on parenting?
Think about it. If an idiot like Betsy DeVos can run America's schools, I'm qualified to be a rocket scientist. Actually, I have a PhD in religion. Did you know that? From the Universal Life Church in Modesto, California. I'm very proud of that. I scored a 7 out of 10 in my online final exam. My attorney tells me it's just as good as any other religious certification, so I'm just going to go with it. But I'm not a psychologist, nor a specialist, spiritualist. I'm not even a teacher. I'm not even a daycare worker. I believe that works to my advantage. What I am is a very experienced father. You can learn how to pick up chicks, steal a car, hack a computer, or even build a meth lab online. But there's no authority on parenting, and you think about it. There's no qualified organizations, government agencies, experts, churches, or no one who knows what's best for any child. Because everyone's so different. It's entirely subjective. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying. I've painfully listed hundreds of my findings in the pages of this book, Diary of an Angry Father, so you won't have to make the same mistakes I did.
I actually listened to the audiobook also, and it's impressive. I mean, it starts out really, really angry. So I'm just going to preface that if you do decide to read or listen to this, it's incredibly angry through the foreword, which should be a chapter in itself, in the first couple of chapters, but after that it seems to lighten up.
It does.
Yeah.
It's brutally honest.
It is brutal, and that's what we need, I think, in parenting.
There's too much fluff.
There was. I mean, I've read some of the other books, too. I've gone through some of the other books, like What to Expect When You're Expecting. I think every new parent's done that. And that's all kind of, it's good, you're going to be pregnant, the whole world's going to be wonderful, but you're going to get sick, blah, blah, blah. And then there's Save Our Sleep by Tizzy Hall, and that advocates wrapping a kid in like 8 blankets.
Right.
Causing like heat stroke or something.
What's that?
And then there's To Train Up a Child by Debbie Pearl and her husband, and that tells you to pull your baby's hair when nursing and the baby bites you.
Nice.
Or hitting your child with something they want, spanking them for 15 minutes. Just general overzealous craziness. So, yeah, I think it's a great book. I think it's a wonderful little book. So, will you stick around for the second half hour with us?
Yeah, I can hang out for a little.
Excellent. We got a guest today.
To ask.
Absolutely. Miso N, author of Diary of an Angry Father, with us here on Radio TakeOver. My name is Chuck Fresh, along with Karen Wooden. We're going to bring him back after the break, and we'll talk a little bit more about parenting and some of the other books and projects this guy's working on. So I agree with it. I think it could be a good movie now that I'm thinking about it.
It really could. And it could have that comedic value to it, too, so people don't.
Yeah, like parenting situations, like everything that goes wrong.
Adam Sandler would be perfect.
He would actually be really cool. This is Radio TakeOver. We'll be back right after these short messages.
Whenever I am on the Space Coast, I always make time in my schedule to listen to Radio TakeOver with Karen Wooden and Chuck Fresh. Stand by. They'll be back for another half hour after these messages. It's easy to support foreign millionaires and God knows what without even realizing you're not dealing with an American company. That 800 number you just dialed? It's probably going to India, the Philippines, or who knows where. That's why you should support Computer Care Clinic in Melbourne. Honest, hard-working, English-speaking American computer repair that supports our community. Call Computer Care Clinic for all your computer repair needs. 321-259-4499 or visit computercareclinic.com. God bless America. Radio TakeOver is sponsored in part by betteryearsliving.com. We don't get older, we get wiser. We don't get slower, we do things smarter. We don't stop living, we stop taking life for granted. betteryearsliving.com can help you make the most of your golden years with helpful things to make your life a little better, brighter, and safer. Have a look around our website at betteryearsliving.com and let us know if you have any suggestions for things that may have helped you. We are betteryearsliving.com. We have spent a career helping America's greatest generations age gracefully and with dignity. Now that we ourselves are proud AARP members, we have become even better at identifying what mature Americans need to make their lives safer, healthier, and better. These aids also make terrific gifts for your aging friends and family members. There is no better gift than something that helps someone else live a better life, even if that someone else is you. Purchases made through betteryearsliving.com help us create more helpful videos and literature that will help even more people. Follow our Facebook page at facebook.com/betteryears1 for news you can use pertaining to aging gracefully in America. And bookmark our website at betteryearsliving.com for terrific videos, hand-picked items that will make your life even better, and useful information you can use. betteryearsliving.com. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, beautiful young people are accidents of nature, but beautiful old people are works of art. betteryearsliving.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Karen Wooden and Chuck Fresh with Radio TakeOver, WMEL's hit radio talk show program. Heard every Wednesday on fine radio stations like this.
Hey everybody, and we're back with your hosts Karen and Chuck, and we're talking with Miso N, who is the author of Diary of an Angry Father. Welcome back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Glad you're still here. We got a lot to cover with Miso, too.
We do. So many things, so many interesting things to talk about. I wanted to ask, when I was taking a child psychology course, they talked about 4 types of parenting styles: authoritative, permissive, neglectful, and authoritarian. And I guess we can now add helicopter parent. I was trying to see where that would fit in. It kind of fits in a little bit with permissive, a tad. But anyway, I wanted to know which one you would say you are.
Well, me, I'm going to be more on the authoritative. I don't do the helicopter parenting. I feel if you baby the kids too much, they're not going to be able to do things on their own. So I want my kids to know I'm the boss. I want them to know I'm an authority figure. At the same time, I don't want to be authoritarian. I don't want to be too strict so they'll ignore me and figure out ways to work around me. And I don't want to be their friends because they won't feel safe and they'll feel like there's no rules in the world like some of these other parents. So I think the helicopter parents drive me nuts.
I don't even know where that came about, because I remember hanging out with my younger friends, a lot younger, about 10 years younger than I do, because our kids were the same age. We started a little bit late. And I found myself falling into that routine, and I have no idea where it started, but once I saw what was happening,
You recognized you were becoming a helicopter parent?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
I've seen a couple of kids do that, a couple of parents that I know personally, and especially one of them. And
I didn't do that.
She would set up all of his social activities.
Yes.
She'd make sure he was there. She'd set up the party, make sure the kids interacted together, set up play dates.
Right.
And then when he got into high school, she would actually write his papers.
Oh, my goodness.
She was actually, no, you don't do this. Let me write it for you. And this kid, he's 23, 24 now. He's a disaster. He's working at a fast food restaurant doing nothing. Skipped college, decided to take a year off. That year became 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure.
And here we are, and the kid's doing nothing. I think that's what happens with a lot of... I mean, there's probably some cases where it works out.
Well, I heard some kids, some employers were talking about how the parents are actually going with them to the interview.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. Yeah, they're sitting down, they're actually doing the interview with their kids, and that's the first thing is going to... Well, I have some opinions on human resources. People will talk about that.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit later. But yeah, it's the first sign of death right there. Your parents comes with you to an interview, you're definitely not going to get that job. Unless you know the boss or something.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's no way that's going to happen. Imagine going to an interview with your parents. I mean, how embarrassing is that going to be for a kid?
I don't know. The way we were raised, probably the way you were raised is the same as, responsibility for your actions.
Right on.
And,
yeah.
If you want something, hey, we'll be there to support you, but you need to go out there and do it yourself.
That's right. You got to work for it. So, Miso, tell us why you're so angry.
Diary of an Angry Father, anyway, is seething. It's tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic to the bone, but it's brutally honest. But at the same time, once you get into it, you'll find out it's actually a bunch of fun. I've detailed my wild adventures in parenthood as I debunked myths, defiled old wives' tales, and completely destroyed any preconceived notions you might have had about being a successful parent. Now, I am angry at society and its failure at parenting. And I'm angry at Congress for letting that dingbat become the Secretary of Education. The kids in general, you've seen on the street, they're going wild. So I've offered advice on how to raise a successful, responsible adult, something that's missing in today's society. So that's why I'm angry, really. But I'm not really an angry person, see.
I'm going to jump in here. You said you've seen some things that might make people's heads spin. So tell us about you. Tell us about some of those things, Miso.
I was in 3 terrible marriages, for example. Well, 2 really bad ones and 1 that just ended badly. My first marriage was to some crackhead who I didn't know was a crackhead. So she got pregnant and, I don't know, anyway, I ended up being the patsy. So me being the good guy, trying to do the right thing, I sucked it up and played dad anyway. I figured it wasn't the kid's fault, so the least I could do was give the kid a chance. So we got married a few months before the baby was born. I even got a day job with benefits while going to school at night to make the ends meet. So a few months later, I catch her cheating and doing crack, so I bolted. We got divorced, and you know how the story ends. I got popped for a couple $100,000 in child support. And she wouldn't even let me see my kid for years. So my lawyer tells me there's nothing I can do. That's just how the system works. So I've been through the worst of it all. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing. You learn a whole heck of a lot when you get played.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I've been through a couple of crazy things myself. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, right, Karen?
It's a song, too.
Yep.
Again, going back to the parenting thing, it's rough being a parent on either side of the coin. So what is one piece of information that you would like women to know or understand most about being a dad?
That's a tough question, being a guy and all, but what I want women to know about being a dad? Well, I want you to know that we want to be involved. We don't want to be excluded from the play dates, from the career plans, from everything in general. We want to know what's going on. I mean, we may act like we're busy, we're doing our own things. A lot of dads are into the 3 H's. You know what they are? Hockey, hunting, and hurting.
Okay.
Hurting's like boxing and all that stuff.
Right.
So we may be sitting on a couch with our feet up and a beer in our hands, but I'll tell you what, we want to know what's going on. We want to be part of the parenting process. So if I could share one thing with moms, that's what it would be. Let us play a part, whether you think we want to or not.
So do you find then that moms tend to exclude?
Absolutely. I think that's a perfect word for it. I don't think they do it willingly or deliberately. I think they're just, they think that they're in charge of everything. They think they're the social planners and they're in charge of everything. But we want moms to know, well, I do anyway, that you're not in this thing alone.
Teamwork.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it only works if the two of you work together. Seen a lot of single parent situations go bad, and it's unfortunate, you know. You kind of, I think that balance definitely helps.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if mom's been hanging out with the kids a little, you know, it's been kind of a rough day, it's nice when dad comes home, or however the, you know, situation may be, to have somebody kind of come in and provide that backup support.
My own dad used to be the disciplinarian, so I'd be home with mom all day, especially in the summertime, and so, I'm going to tell your dad when he gets home, and I was just scared of my dad coming home. But I'll tell you what, it set me straight.
Well, you haven't committed any crimes.
Well, no, I was 6 years old. I don't know
you grew up.
I probably did, looking back. There's probably some of the stuff I did may have been a crime. Now, who knows? I was a kid. I don't remember.
You grew up to be a productive member of society.
It looks like it. I mean, anybody who's took the time to pen a book, I mean, that's you've got to have some education and some...
A little bit.
Just some discipline just to do that.
Yeah, it takes a while. I think it took me a good 6 to 8 months to finish that book, because the idea's been kind of bouncing around my head forever. It does. It requires a lot of discipline.
Well, it looks pretty good. I didn't see the audiobook, too. Is clean.
Audio is great.
Yeah, that's neat. You did the audiobook, too. Diary of an Angry Father was your first book I'm reading here. So was that a reflection on your experience with your first child?
Oh, absolutely a big part of it. A friend of mine was pregnant, her first kid. So you may have noticed you can tell someone something until you're blue in the face. But no matter how much real experience you have, they won't believe you unless it comes two ways. One, they hear it from a total stranger, or two, if it's written in black and white. You could be a best friend, a relative, they're not going to listen to you. They want to hear it from somebody else. So I went shopping for a book for first-time parents as a gift. So I thumbed through some of these pages to preview the books, and man, they were garbage. I mean, zero useful information, fluff, and a lot of religious craziness. All about the wonder of parenting and how to raise your little angel, but only if you're rich and gifted, you know what I mean? So nothing at all that really explained what it was like in the trenches of today, how to be a real parent in today's world. So that was the first spark. And then a few years later, I was at a bar one New Year's Eve, and one of my buddies, he insulted a pregnant bartender.
Not a good thing to do.
Oh, he said some really not nice things, and then he asked her why people had kids anyway, so she knocked his drink into his lap. But I thought his question was interesting. Like, why do people have kids? So the book really began that night. I went home and wrote it after I went home from the bar. I started the book right there.
In your opinion, why do people have kids?
Well, it's a tough one. There's many reasons, ranging from vanity to insecurity to just accidents. They're discussed in the beginning of my book, Diary of an Angry Father. I would say accidents first, and then vanity.
Vanity.
Yeah. And to explain that, there's a lot of insecure women who are starved for attention. And they have kids, and that satisfy that need. The first kid anyway. By the time you get the big shower, and you get everybody's fussing all over you, and your mom's making a big deal, and your man's pulling out the chair for you and opening up doors, doing things he wouldn't normally do.
Right.
Just because you're pregnant with your first kid. But that all goes away with the second kid. Don't even try it again.
I've seen that before. I've seen a lot of women actually go through. I wonder if that's where postpartum depression comes from.
It might. I know kind of after I had given birth to my first, well, I had a C-section, and I remember when they brought him to me, like you said earlier, screaming and crying, and I just said, could you put it back for it? It wasn't even a child at that point.
You let it cook for a little bit?
Yeah. I'll come back tomorrow. I have to go home. I need to digest this because, wow, it's real. But, it's true, because I think everybody comes to the hospital to see the baby, and then there you are.
That's it. They come and make a big fuss about you. And there are proven chemical changes inside a woman after she has a child, hormonal changes. They can affect people in different ways. So if you want to stay the same, I tell guys in my relationship book that if you want your woman to stay exactly the same, never get her knocked up. Never have a child. Just adopt someone or bring in foster a kid or something, or get a dog. If you want your woman to stay exactly the same forever, never knock her up, because everything changes after she has a kid.
Actually, I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen studies on there saying the hormonal changes can be very drastic, mind altering.
Some do really well with it, and others don't.
Yeah.
The people you have to stay away from are the ones that come up to you and they go, they have kids and they've been married or whatever, and they go, you should have kids.
Yeah.
I've learned that's because misery loves company.
Amen.
I'm not saying anything bad about children, folks. I have 2 amazing boys, but yeah.
You got lucky.
Misery loves company. I say that with a smile.
That's true. I saw a couple that I know personally, and a friend of mine. He was married, had their first kid. She seemed completely normal. She had her second kid, and just what you're saying, nobody made the big fuss over her after the second kid. And she went into this big stage of depression, ended up causing a divorce. And actually, they had a third kid to see if it would fix it, which is nuts. This guy, you're talking about Miso, you're paying child support. This guy, man, I think he's still paying it. I think he probably spent enough to buy a house, or at least a really nice car.
Really nice car.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it. Jeez.
Hey, I want to ask you a question, Miso. What do you feel, or what do you think is the most common, in all your research, the most common misconceptions you feel as it pertains to child rearing or being a father? What do you think would be one of the biggest?
Misconceptions about being a father. Well, I see a lot of people push their kids into sports. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's the answer. Not every kid is gifted. Not every kid is athletic. And I think that, just being a dad, your job is not just to be the disciplinarian / sports coach. Right. I think a lot of kids get depressed because they're not as good as they want to be. They're not as big as you want them to be, or they didn't grow as fast. So I think that sets in motion a lot of even depression in some cases, some insecurities. So yeah, dads, sports aren't always the answer. Some of these clubs aren't always the answer. Mom, some of these social activities aren't always the best thing to do either. So just figure out who your kid is and then push them in the right direction based on some logical information anyway.
Good advice.
Yeah, we're always learning as parents too, and you never really know who a kid is, Even my own son, he's 15 now. I can see he's still trying to figure out who he is. He's never really been one for sports. Uh-huh. We were going to push him into soccer and stuff, but we didn't do that. I thought he would be terrible.
Right.
And my daughter, too. I remember her just standing. I have a picture of her standing on the soccer field picking daisies.
Yeah.
And there's one, she's looking really angry. She just didn't like it. There's no sense pushing them into something they're going to fail at, right?
I agree. I think a lot of people, too, live vicariously through their children sometimes.
That's exactly it. I think that's exactly what's going on. But your second book, let's talk about that, Fun with Dick. It's a cathartic look at men in general. Topics covered include why some women like bad boys, why men go to strip clubs, and why some white women date black men, and mail-order brides even. So what inspired Fun with Dick?
I have a lot of female friends. I can't help it. Women are just more interesting to talk to rather than talking to guys about those 3 H's, the hunting, hockey, and hurting. Or trucks and fantasy football. It's so boring. Men are completely hopeless. Definitely the weaker sex, mentally anyway. Regardless, for ladies, and even men who think differently. Fun with Dick will definitely enlighten you. In Diary of an Angry Father, I write about many things that, I don't know, a lot of feminists say are misogynistic, but honestly, I'm not anti-woman, anti-black, anti-Mexican, anti-Christian, anti-pasta, anti-matter, anti-anything for that matter. I'm just a hopeless idealist who despises everyone and everything equally. You should call me an equal opportunity hater.
Oh, boy.
I've become milder in my old age, and thanks to my lovely fourth wife, I've retired from the meat market. Now I just want to teach other ones how to find their own happiness.
Fun with Dick. Where'd you get the name from?
Well, there was, you got to have something that sticks out a little bit. There's Fun with Dick and Jane, and, you don't need me to go further into that, do you?
No, please don't. No. So what was in that book, in Fun with Dick, what's the most surprising thing you've found in your research?
Well, honestly, my favorite study is women who keep cats.
Why is that?
Well, cats are much too independent to provide unconditional love like a dog. And forget for a moment that they'll run off for days or even weeks at a time, stealing that companionship and completely forgetting your feelings while breaking your heart. So women who keep cats tend to be asexual. It's true. In many cases, they have zero interest in any sort of hetero or even a homosexual relationship whatsoever. The cat supplants a companion.
I don't explain that. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe you, but...
Well, think about it. Since a cat has no needs other than food or a place to poop, it's not as needy as a man. Perhaps it's that neediness that's the turnoff. So these women who like cats, like their cats, they have an agenda. They've got things to do, and sex just gums up everything physically and emotionally. If a woman brought a cat into your relationship, she's just told you that you're much too clingy. But the game goes on. There's more. Cat women still prowl for men, but not for love and physical intimacy, but for safety and financial security. That's right. They play a good game, making you think you're important until you're bagged and tagged. Cats are sneaky, and cat women are too.
We just lost all of our
female audience
there.
We're just like to know the opinions of our guests are not the opinions of Karen and Chuck on Radio TakeOver.
And one more thing as an aside, I noticed an interesting correlation among women who have cats and who run. Cat-keeping women who run regularly are exponentially more asexual than those who don't. Not only does she deflect affectionate attention by the distraction of the cat, she's running from it too. Plus, athletic women, as you know, have higher levels of testosterone, but that's a whole different book.
How about men and cats?
Men and cats, I haven't really studied that, but I am working on a book on, we're going to talk about women. And I'm going to write that with a co-author whose name I can't disclose just yet. She's coming up with a pseudonym, too. We'll cover that on the reverse act. Well, they have cats here in this studio, don't they?
It's a very cat-friendly studio.
Yeah, you probably don't want to go there. You may not want to talk about that.
Yeah. I just noticed from programs that I watch where the men have the cats, the women always have a little joke about that.
Really?
So, yeah.
Like what?
I don't want to say. You
put that on our Facebook page. I'm curious to know now. You have another book called Beyond Words. And you kind of change gears here. It's Affirmations for a Happier Life. So I actually did listen to that. And it's kind of inspiring considering the polar opposite from Diary of an Angry Father.
You know what? The whole world is angry, especially right now with the political situation. Me, I'm not really an angry person. I mean, I've been angry, like all of us have, but I've worked through all my mistakes and learned from them. So writing for me has been therapeutic. So in Beyond Words, I focused on the situations and solutions to my adversities, and I shared what helped me along. We've been given this beautiful planet, plenty of food, great intelligence, and the gift of life. So I call this the era of human adolescence. What we collectively need to work on is our consciousness. We need more empathy. We need more cooperation, more love. I know it sounds hippie-ish, but if you think about it, this whole civilization thing that we're experiencing right now won't work if we all don't work together. You have to be civilized. You have to talk to each other. You have to agree with each other. You have to agree to disagree and work together. So Beyond Words is a collection of more than 20 years of observations and analysis of positive thinking and positive people.
There's many layers.
And you could call me a libtard or a snowflake or whatever, but just remember, 60 million snowflakes, what's that make? A blizzard.
I like that.
Wow, I thought about it that way.
Very many, a lot of different layers, very deep.
A lot of hats, man.
I like that.
Miso, what's next, man? We've got these. Well, let's tell everybody where to get you. It's www.misongray. That's spelled MISO. Letter N is in Nancy. GREY. MisoNgray.com. And his books, Diary of an Angry Father and Beyond Words and Fun with Dick, are all available on Amazon.com. You could search for Miso N. Gray. I think there's a page there.
Facebook page, too.
And there's a Facebook page, too. You can follow them. So what are you working on now?
Well, I got this blog I've been working on. It's called angryfather.wordpress.com. And I've just been writing my ideas there. And I think I'm going to do a sequel to Diary of an Angry Father. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Maybe Diary of a Successful Father. I don't want to say happy.
Yeah, that sounds a little... Well, I do. Diary of a Happy Father could work. What to expect when you're not expecting?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. What else are you working on?
And also I'm going to do the relationship book. And I'm also thinking about something called All About Women. Ooh. I'm going to write my ideas about women and how to read a woman for people who are just getting into the dating world.
Wow. That sounds very interesting.
That is interesting. There's a lot of people doing the online thing, online dating, for or against.
Oh, definitely for. It's like a way to feel people out. You can ask them a lot of questions, get a sense of who they are before you take them on a date or get involved with them. You can learn a lot from those exchanges, although a lot of people are being fake, but you can really roll a lot of stuff out.
Hey, real quick, sum up all of your experiences. What is the best piece of advice you'd like to give out today?
All of my experiences...
or just share with us one more piece of advice, because you've got a lot.
I'd have to say parenting is the key to everything. These are the future of our country, the future of our world. So you need to be objective. Be as objective as you can. Be authoritative without being authoritarian. Teach your kids that they're safe, that you're looking out for them, and that you want them to succeed. But be there for them. Don't ignore them. Don't walk away just because you're a dad or your mom. And that's really the best. Just be as best of a parent as you can. And buy my book, Diary of an Angry Father. It'll help you.
Yeah.
We want to thank Miso N. Gray for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun. We hope to see you again soon. Keep us posted with all your projects. We'll post your links and information on our Facebook and webpage.
And remember, you can come by the studio. We have 3 autographed copies.
They are. Oh, look at this. What's the other one say? Can I read these?
Yeah,
good.
Oh, sorry, I'm answering for him.
Yeah, it says, "You rock."
Nice.
That's a nice, inspirational. And the other one says, "Be awesome." So these are probably worth thousands of dollars, Karen.
They could be.
Yeah.
Very well.
This is Radio TakeOver. We're right here on this station and all over the world every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Karen Wooden with Chuck Fresh. We want to thank you again for joining us. And our wine for today, what was it?
Is Duchess Leah Galarosa.
Nice.
Fresh Market.
I love it. Fresh Market. Don't tell Kevin.
We won't.
And also, we'll put the video of the singing Valentine on our website. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all next week.
This has been Radio TakeOver, Brevard's hit talk radio show with Karen Wooden and Chuck Fresh. Heard every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on 1510 WMEL. And streaming all over the world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Join us next Wednesday at 1 for Radio TakeOver. For sponsorship rates and availability, please log on to brevardradio.com.